Attention Vikings fans, what looked promising in the preseason turned into a nightmare in seconds. Serious injuries, doubts about the season, and even controversies involving aggressive plays on the field. Frustration is at its peak, and the fan base is forced to face a dark moment for the team. Nothing less than the future of the franchise feels threatened by news nobody wanted to hear. Welcome! Show your support for the Vikings by hitting 100 likes on today's video. Let's start with one of Minnesota's most painful issues, the situation with Rondale Moore. The Vikings wide receiver and punt returner suffered a devastating injury to his left knee early in the second quarter of the preseason game against the Texans. Head coach Kevin O'Connell didn't mince words, calling the injury heartbreaking. Moore had already missed the entire 2024 season due to a similar injury, an ACL tear. The cruel irony, this happened almost exactly a year after his previous recovery, right on his first touch in a Vikings uniform. Moore, who signed a one-year deal with Minnesota in March, was in great physical shape and appeared ready to contribute. His dual role as receiver and punt returner was seen as a significant asset, especially when Justin Jefferson is sidelined with a hamstring issue. Unfortunately, that promise was shattered after his first play. He was tackled aggressively during a punt return and had to be carted off the field, a painful sight that cast a shadow immediately over the stadium. Besides the personal drama, Moore's injury throws a spotlight on the Vikings' offensive depth. O'Connell himself voiced doubts about the legality of the tackle that caused the injury, hinting at a possible hip drop move, a banned, dangerous hit. This adds an extra layer of tension as the play will be scrutinized on video replay. The brutal blow to Minnesota's prospects couldn't have come at a worse time for a franchise already grappling with limited options. Moore's career has been marked by physical struggles. Prior to the 2024 ACL tear, his performances at Purdue and brief NFL stints showed flashes of talent that were frequently interrupted by injuries. This latest setback reinforces a troubling pattern that threatens his career longevity. The team and fans now face a challenge bigger than just missing a player. It's an emotional and logistical crisis that touches the heart of Minnesota's offense. The bad news didn't stop there. Zeke Correll, an undrafted rookie center occupying third-string status behind Ryan Kelly and Michael Juergens, also suffered a major injury in the same game. An X-ray confirmed a right ankle fracture, forcing the Vikings into urgent plans to fill this crucial position. The offensive line, already fragile, now faces an even tougher task in protecting the quarterback and creating running lanes. Adding to Minnesota's worries is the absence of Justin Jefferson from 2 weeks of practice due to a hamstring issue. The star receiver did not play against the Texans, but did appear in the broadcast studio to update fans. Jefferson's report was cautiously optimistic. He's progressing daily in strengthening and mobility, with a hopeful return slated for the regular season opener on September 8th against the Bears in Chicago. Even if Jefferson returns as expected, the loss of Moore combined with Jordan Addison's early season suspension leaves the Vikings receiving corps dangerously thin. Lesser-known and inexperienced players must rapidly adapt, putting pressure on coaches to innovate and on the roster to grow fast. This lack of depth could undermine an offense that already faces significant challenges. Inside the Vikings locker room, the mood is undeniably heavy. The solidarity shown to Moore was palpable. Teammates knelt and gathered around him on the field, while Coach O'Connell provided comfort. Moments like these remind us that football transcends statistics. It's a battle of mental and emotional endurance where injuries wound beyond the body to morale and aspirations. Let's deepen this grim scenario by examining Moore's injury context. His resilient journey from Purdue was long shadowed by repeated injuries that hindered his consistency and ability to compete at peak NFL level. Nothing in the planning foresaw such an immediate repeat injury as he debuted in Minnesota colors. This fragility raises critical questions about the physical risks athletes and teams accept when banking on players still battling recovery. For Minnesota, this translates into a thin line between hope and caution. Signing Moore in March was a gamble that seemed poised to pay dividends, especially in the return game. Now it forces a quick reevaluation and adjustment. Coach O'Connell confronts a difficult puzzle. reinventing a squad already short on offensive options to stay competitive in an AFC North increasingly tough. The offensive line's woes compound these problems. Losing Correll removes depth at center, a position vital not only for snapping, but for orchestrating protection schemes and fluid play execution. Failure to find a reliable replacement could collapse Minnesota's offensive rhythm, placing additional burden on a defense already stretched thin and requiring reinforcement. As for Jefferson, his recovery remains closely monitored by the medical staff. Teammates, meanwhile, must step up to maintain balance and competitive spirit. The hope is that with his return, the offense regains enough firepower to weather the storm these injuries have sparked. Shifting back to the tragic start of Moore's preseason, the details of the play expose sharp questions. After catching the first punt and racing along the right sideline, he was tackled aggressively and fell in pain, favoring his left leg. The fact that the tackler seemingly left his feet to bring Moore down raises suspicions of illegal play, possibly a hip drop technique known to cause severe damage. Moore's pain and frustration were evident as he struck the cart while being taken off, a haunting moment for fans and commentators alike. The solidarity shown, teammates kneeling and gathering with Moore, reflected the gravity of the event and the profound bonds between players. Football is more than a spectacle. It's a community where players' livelihoods and passions collide with brutal realities of injury and recovery. For the Vikings, losing Moore long-term could unravel returning specialists and receiving depth. With Jefferson out and Addison suspended for the first 3 games, the task falls on less experienced receivers: Lucky Jackson, rookie Ty Felton, Jashawn Jones, and Tim Jones. The void in punt return duties also demands prompt solutions to prevent further special teams weaknesses. It's essential to underscore that Rondale Moore was not just another player. He was expected to inject explosiveness and agility to transform Minnesota's offense. After a challenging recovery culminating in March, hopes were high he had turned a corner. Yet the cruel unpredictability of NFL injuries strikes again, requiring fans and team alike to brace for a rigorous rehabilitation and an uncertain future. Ultimately, these developments testify to the NFL's merciless nature. Every game can birth new tales of triumph and tragedy. For the Minnesota Vikings, already striving to build a solid competitive foundation, resilience and creativity will define their path forward. The coaching staff must think out of the box, and the players must dig deep to overcome these early adversities. Final opinion: the scenario laid out by these 2 news stories is a real trial by fire for the Vikings. The severe injuries to Rondale Moore and Zeke Correll, coupled with Justin Jefferson's ongoing recovery, place the team in a precarious phase of rebuilding and adjustment. Head coach Kevin O'Connell faces tremendous pressure to swiftly find solutions to keep the roster competitive. Those expecting a smooth preseason are now witnessing a crisis that could dictate the team's trajectory before the season even begins. Can this current roster muster the strength and depth to endure this storm? Now I want to hear from you, Vikings fan. Just how far do you think the Vikings can go this year with such a fragile offense strapped by injuries? Is there a plan B ready to surprise everyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We are eager to know your take. And don't forget, like this video, leave your comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with in-depth Vikings analysis and exclusive content. Let's go, Vikings Nation!